Hello, everybody. So happy that you're here to watch this. If you're catching this on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe. It makes the reach of these videos go that much further when you have a subscription, people subscribing to that. I have an incredible guest here today, Benjamin Bernstein, and we came together today for a very specific reason, in my mind anyway. Last year, I had him on the podcast, and it was at the very beginning of his published adventure with the book, The Instant Divine Assistance and Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. Having said that, I'll just give you a little bit of background detail about the beautiful astral shaman, Benjamin Bernstein. He wrote the #1 best-selling book, The Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. He hosts 2 podcasts. One is the Awaken, Heal, and Thrive, and the other is the award-winning This Week in Astrology. He also runs the Awakening Plus online membership, which helps its members awaken, heal, and thrive. He is a 3-time Best Astrologer winner in Western North Carolina's Premier Reader Survey. And he has done over 10,000 Astrology Plus, Shamanic Healing, and life coaching sessions with global clientele. Very auspicious. Love having you on my show because the energy that you bring in here is so beautiful. So what would you like to say first to the listeners with regards to coming back here on the year, kind of like not necessarily the year anniversary, but very close to the year anniversary of your book being public?
Well, first, I'm very honored to be on the show, Sandra. I'm so grateful that you have me back again. And I'm happy that the book is still selling well. It's still, doing well in the categories that it's in on Amazon. It's about to hit 200 ratings, and 81% of those are 5-star. So I'm really pleased about that. So it's being well received by the public. And so really, I'm happy the book is slotting in and holding its place in the spiritual book world.
Love it. Love it. So again, I'm just going to put the title on here for people to find it on Amazon and other places. The Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. Tell us a little bit more about what the journey's been like for this last year. I mean, nothing's stagnant, like you had the 11-year journey of really bringing this book to fruition, meaning that the ayahuasca ceremony that actually started the whole event, and then the flowing through to actually publishing the book. So what's kind of happened since then? Like for yourself, I guess that's what I'm asking is what have you experienced since this has been flowing for the last year?
Well, life continues to unfold in wonderful ways. And some have to do with the book and some don't. Is it okay if I talk more broadly? Yeah, okay. Probably the most meaningful thing recently is I have a functional medicine doctor and went to see her in January here in 2024 and discovered I had candida. And she does very deep testing. And so I went on to a keto diet. As if that wasn't enough, it was a keto/anti-candida diet. So followed that very strictly for like about 3 months. That we did more testing, and the candida is gone now. But the real revelation was when in fact, I did a whole podcast episode around this in the Awaken, Heal, and Thrive podcast. It really brought home to me the profound importance of diet on consciousness. I mean, at that point, I was starting to get irritable with my partner. My moods were starting to get more sour, and no amount of meditation or ayahuasca ceremonies was really making a dent in that. But once I shifted the diet to not just keto, but sort of what's called ketotarian, where no meat, no beef, no pork, mostly vegetarian with some chicken and fish. Within days, the chronic inflammation that had been in my body for years that I just gotten used to, I was feeling like a creaky old man. All of a sudden, it just dropped away. All of a sudden, my body's moving smoothly and comfortably. All of my irritability falls away. And now all of a sudden I'm loving and consistent with my partner, the exact same things that were happening that were triggering me before. Now I'm staying calm. my mental clarity gets sharper. It's like, it just was stunning to me how, at least for me, this kind of diet made a world of difference. And I had not realized experientially until that time just how profoundly important what you eat is in terms of everything else about your life and the quality of it. So I don't have to follow the more rigid anti-candida things now, but for me, keto, with the flavor of keto that I do, has worked magnificently, and it's given me more vitality and joy and flow than I've experienced in years. So really happy about that.
You know, we could go off on a whole tangent with this topic, because food and healthy food, healthy eating, and even our bodies and how we have this gravitational pull on ourselves has really been a hot topic in the circles that I've been in of late. So this is really fascinating that here you are coming on talking about food and how it's changed your life. Wild. You know, you can't make this stuff up, right?
So it's really important for me anyway.
Yeah, very much important. What else would you like to say about? I guess let me. Where do we want to go with this? You know what? I'm going to leave the floor open to you for a moment and let you stretch your wings. What would you like to speak on?
Okay. Well, I'll touch base also recently. It's become clear I need to be more of a manifester and get more serious about law of attraction. So I'm doing a lot of reading on that, and ayahuasca has helped me with that as well. She's shown me how to visualize and move energy more quickly. So I'm excited now to be more constantly manifesting. My style is usually pretty yin, and in the book in the Instant Divine Assistance book, the whole principle is you're going to call your higher self to do stuff for you. If you need to experience awakening, you just ask your higher self to come merge within your body, and you have awakening right there in your body. And if you need healing, you just ask your higher self to come in and take care of the healing for you. And you can also ask it to bring in any flavor of energy you want. You can ask it to flow energy through you for the benefit of others. Those are the 4 kind of basic flavors of invocation the book teaches. So my approach has been very yin. Ayahuasca, when you go into that kind of a ceremony, I just say, hey, mama, you know best. Just give me what I need. And I leave it to her, because she's, her intelligence is vastly superior to Benjamin's. However, with law of attraction, I'm learning you got to be a little bit more yang, and you have to very clearly and potently visualize really clearly what you're wanting. So I'm learning how to fire my yang up a little bit more for that context. So for me.
I really, sorry for interrupting. I really appreciate how you're talking about the yin and the yang of this, and I call it living in the energy, what you're speaking about here. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. You're being asked to really kind of focus in on what you want. And some people are like, well, this is what I want. And they don't realize that they've gone so far in what they want that they've actually made it harder to have that accomplished. Do you understand what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to use a truck as an example. Like, say I wanted a truck. Well, I know I want a 4x4, I want extended cab, and I want low mileage, but I don't necessarily put a color and a brand name to it. But people think that if they're going to do what they want, then they got to put the color, the brand name, everything into that. Except that then it actually becomes harder, because now we're not so much doing this or something better. We're going, this is the only thing I want is this. So can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, and again, I need to jump in here. I'm not a law of attraction expert. I'm still very much a student on that area. I've attracted enough to to pay my bills and serve in the way I serve, but I'm more of a student here than any kind of authority on law of attraction. But my understanding, based on I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks on it lately, and there is the teaching that you want to be very precise, hold the vision of what you want just as in as tiny and granular detail as possible. But at the same time, I mean, the book I'm just reading right now says, and then you let it go. And you let the universe, if that doesn't give you exactly that, then maybe something better will show up. So this is a law of attraction. I believe I would throw in something else I teach in my book, which is I call the karma-free safety clause. And I teach this in other contexts, but it's basically once you've set up what you want to happen from your ego, you close by saying, to the greatest extent that serves highest good, this or something better. And that makes clear, okay, I've shown you exactly what my ego wants, but hey, you got a better idea, let's have that instead, is what you're saying to the divine. Because your higher self is always smarter and knows better than your human self does what really serves best. Your higher self created the human and set up the whole lifetime for you. And you got free will, and there's some things you got to take the bull by the horns and get them going. But I always believe in everything deferring ultimately to the wisdom of the higher self, if it knows better than the human does, which is pretty much always true, in my opinion.
I agree wholeheartedly, because I know in the things that I've learned that the higher self is the one who really wants to lead us into all this incredible things that we're capable of doing if we just stop and pay attention and let that unfold very magically. Yeah, very powerful. Tell us a little bit more about some of the things within your book that you feel has really been forefront in some of the teachings over this last year because of the book coming out.
Well, the teachings are fundamental and timeless. It might be simplest if I just kind of laid out the basic ideas that the book presents. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, an invocation, the way I teach it, and let me just give a little backstory on how I got them in the first place. You mentioned already that ayahuasca gave them to me. This was a ceremony on the first day of 2011. This was now over 13 years ago. And out of nowhere, ayahuasca drops these invocations into my brain, just gives them to me as a gift. And she showed me how to call in my own awakening. And I did the words she gave me, and sure enough, I said, the words might be slightly different now, but I said the essence of maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. And then I just became passive, and because I asked the medicine and my higher self to give it to me, I relaxed, and sure enough, the energy saturated my body, and I moved into full-on embodied awakening. And I said, that's amazing. It feels great. And for healing, I felt something out of sorts in my body, and I said, okay, how about maximum healing that serves highest good, please? And sure enough, the energy came in and stirred up and flushed away whatever heavy energy was in process at that time. So it worked for me in the ceremony. And then after we were done, there was a lady to my left who I knew, and I said, hey, I just got this cool technique. Can I see if it works for you too? And she did it, and it worked for her. 3 other people eavesdropping around the corner from us, and they wanted me to lead them, and I led all 3 of them. They said they also went into embodied awakening. So it's working, at least in the aftermath of an ayahuasca ceremony. Then I get back home and I start working with my clients. And sure enough, even people who've never meditated before, they can say these words and become passive and receive a really potent awakening, like on the spot. And when people hear this, their initial thought might be too good to be true. It couldn't be that easy. People have to meditate for years to attain any kind of awakening. But fortunately, the veils are really thin right now. And most people try to attain awakening through effort and the ego trying to make it happen. My own belief is an ego can never awaken itself. It's like pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. It's kind of a cool idea, but it doesn't actually work. You pull on your bootstraps, you stay on the ground, So basically, you work with the part of you that's already far more awake than your human self, and you ask it to give the awakening to you as a gift, which it's always happy to do, and then you just passively let it do it for you. So that's the essence of invoking embodied awakening. And by the way, when I say a full awakening, I'm not in any way implying that's the best possible awakening you could have. My own experience with awakening, which has been confirmed by others I know who are also deeply awake, is there may not be a final awakening at all. If it is an infinite universe, how could there be a final awakening? So, a story related to that is back in 2012, during a month-long ayahuasca experience in Peru, I had finally a abiding awakening. I touched awakening previously in ceremonies and was in the awakened state. Then I went to sleep, woke up the next morning physically, and it was gone. That was very frustrating. But finally, in the 8th of 10 ceremonies, the awakening sticks. It's there the next day, and it's never gone away since. And it was so ecstatic, I thought, oh my God, did I just hit the jackpot? Am I now in the ultimate possible best awakening? Because I didn't even know bliss like that could exist. As it turns out, I was barely off the starting line. And I've had more awakenings since then in the 13 years since that I can even count. Each one more amazing than the one before it. And that's why my experience tells me chances are there's always an even more amazing awakening beyond the one you're at. You can't conceive it or imagine it, but you know it when it actually happens. So I always leave space for a better awakening than the one I'm at, a deeper, more profound, more helpful awakening. And therefore, I view awakening not as a thing with an ultimate finish line, but an endless unfolding of deeper states. At least that's been my experience. And again, I know people who are more awake than I am, and we talk about it, and they have the same opinion. Nope, awakening just keeps going deeper, and chances are, in this lifetime at least, we're not going to get to the final one.
I love what you're saying. I want to speak a little bit to this because it's been my experience with some of my clients that they are looking for the feeling they had with a previous awakening. That's how I want to word that. And we can't experience that same feeling again. And I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, one can get to similar states.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it is a mistake to try to get the exact same experience again, because in a way that's ruling out an even better one, you know. So trying to repeat a prior experience, I don't think is the best strategy. I would just invoke maximum, for me, I would say maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. And, you know, let it be a little different flavor, because there's infinite flavors of awakening. And by just asking for maximum embodied awakening, that opens the door to going to awakening even beyond the one you knew before. So I would never get attached to a current state. I would, you know, if it shows up again, great, but always be open to transcending whatever you've known so far, is what I would say.
You know, I was just kind of looking at some of the comments. Thank you for sharing that. Some of the comments that came through on the last time that we got together. One of the people replied, "This is hard to believe that this is a real spiritual energy work." And yet they tried it and said, "It's working. This is going to be a game changer." So speak to that about, you know, you mentioned that for some people it's very easy to get into that state, and other people it's not so. I know for myself, when I'm working with clients and I'm helping them learn how to do these things, it's this shift of I'm looking for this. Instead of doing that, I'm looking for this. Step into the knowing that you're there. Is that kind of like that? Do you understand? Like if I sit here and I take a couple breaths, I slide into this beautiful space, and I know that I'm in this meditative sense.
Right.
People tend to look for that state instead of sitting in the knowing they're in that state.
Yeah, and it's the difference, I think, between, you know, yin and yang, like we were talking about earlier. So again, what I have found works best, not only for me, but for those who have tried my technique, is you just ask for maximum embodied awakening. And again, the awakening is beyond language anyway. So you really can't get into a lot of description about it. You just are there when you're there, beyond language. So by asking for maximum embodied awakening, and then at least with the technology I offer, your absolute passivity as a follow-up is what gets you there. In other words, after you've said those words, my recommendation is now just relax completely, be 100% passive, and just notice the feeling in your body. And if most people are sensitive enough that as soon as they say that they can feel energy coming in the top of their head, it's the analogy is, it's kind of like you're a sponge, and your higher self energy is water soaking into you. And it does it itself. You don't have to make anything happen. So what I find is the absolute passivity that follows, only holding simple awareness, is the best strategy. And in fact, here's the explicit thing I say in the book. Okay, once you've invoked, please do not do any of the following: no effort, no willpower, no trying to make anything happen, no stopping anything from happening, no deliberate visualizing or imagining, no ego stuff, no effort. And if you're really, really passive and letting the divine bring it to you, then at least with my invocations, that's going to give you your best result.
I can feel that. Yeah. Very, very magical. Is this something that you would like to share with us? Like maybe do a little process, or
Yeah,
maybe
we can do that.
either do a process or tell us about somebody else as well, maybe one or the
Well,
other.
I think first-hand experiences. Do you want to do that now or toward the end of the event, or when you want to throw it?
It's up to you where you want to go with this.
Well, it actually kind of feels like it wants to happen now, so let's do it now. So is it okay if I take maybe 10 minutes and guide you and the
Sure.
viewers and listeners in the
I'm
process?
going to go off camera and I will come back on when you're done, okay? So I'll give the floor to you.
Okay. All right. All right. So I invite you, if you wish to do this, to first, let's assume you're safe and can close your eyes. So hopefully you're now in a space where you can give this your full concentration for just a few minutes here. So close your eyes and just become aware of how your body feels right now. Not changing anything, just noticing where you're already at. And if you have awareness of your energy body, the kind of tingly energy in and around you, just feel that too, if you have that awareness. If not, it's okay. But feel it if you got it. So now you at least have awareness of your physical body and possibly awareness of your energy body. And just your baseline now. You know where you're starting from. So now we'll assume that you have a higher self, and you're going to ask it for the maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. First, just a little more word picturing for you. We're going to think of your physical body like a car. Your ego is going to move to the passenger seat, and your higher self is going to drive. However, your ego is the boss, and if it doesn't like the way your higher self is driving, you just think, I'm back behind the wheel. You're there. The higher self steps out with no fuss. Everything is back like it was. So if any part of you is concerned about this, just know that it's only a test. You're just trying it on for size, and it is instantly and fully reversible if you don't like it. So there's no risk to try. And again, it's your own self, one level up, that you're inviting in. So the benefits of embodied awakening, most of them are beyond language, but here's what you can say about it. When you're in embodied awakening, there's more harmony, flow, ease, and grace. Everything you're responsible for, you can do more responsibly and more joyfully. Instead of having to figure things out so much, your intuition works better and you just know what to do a lot more. And there's also this full body euphoria. It's really nice. So those are the key benefits of being in the state. So let's give it a shot. One more time, briefly notice how the body and your energy body feel. I encourage, again, eyes closed. So let's go ahead and call it in. You're going to speak to your higher self. Again, the you, one level up, that created your human self in the first place, and that would really love to help you out. So we're going to do the 8 words and do them out loud if you can. If not, you can just think them. They'll still work fine. So I invite you to repeat after me starting now. Maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. That's all of them. Let them go. Now become completely passive. So just relax and just feel your body. And if you can feel subtle energy moving in your body, interesting sensations, then that's what you focus on. But you're completely passive. The only effort at all is feeling the energy doing whatever it's doing. If you don't have that perception, that's okay. Then let your breath come and go and just feel the breath coming and going however it wants to. Please, no breath control. So you're either feeling energy, if you got it, otherwise fall back to just breath awareness. And as I said earlier, you'll get the best outcome if there's no effort, no willpower, no trying to make anything happen, no stopping anything from happening, no deliberate visualizing or imagining. If you get distracted at some point, you notice you're not noticing energy or breath anymore, just gently return to that awareness. If there's still distractions, that is fine. They can be there in the background. Do not fight them or try to change them. That will just strengthen them. So let them be there, but in the background, you're consciously placing your attention on feeling the energy in the body or feeling your breath. No resistance to anything. And the final nuance, if you want, is you can discover what's the least effort you need even to feel any of this. Most people are actually using more effort than they need, which can slow things down a bit. So I invite you to play with me what I call the minimum effort game. So right now, notice hopefully that you're feeling either energy moving or breath. So let's see how little effort is needed to have that awareness. So let's drop all the way to 0. So for just a moment, don't even try to feel anything. Just drop to 0 effort and just be for a minute. Whatever happens is fine. And I'll be quiet for just a few seconds just to let you be. Okay. So maintaining zero effort, just notice, do I have awareness of energy or breath without even trying? Is it just there? If it's there even without trying, that's awesome. Zero effort is like the best of all worlds. But if it's zero, you've lost awareness of whatever you're choosing to focus on, whether it's energy or breath, then you want to add back just barely enough effort to feel it. I mean, the bare minimum. The less effort you use to get to awareness, the more space it leaves for your higher self to awaken you more deeply. So just find that sweet spot of just barely enough effort, whether that's no effort at all or just a little bit, and then just rest comfortably in that very small amount of effort or none needed to feel energy moving or feel your breath come and go. Otherwise, absolutely passive. So usually what I feel is corresponding to what others feel. And by the grace of my allies, I'm able to feel what's happening to the folks watching this recording after the fact and live all together. And there's a pretty sweet field going on. So it feels to me like a lot of you at least are getting a nice experience with this. So again, we're going to wrap up here in just a moment on this process. But when you do it on your own, if you choose to, you want to kind of stay with the feeling as long as it feels like it's getting stronger, more energy is coming in. At some point, you'll be at your current capacity. In other words, your body will now be holding as much divine consciousness as it can, without overdoing it. And when you feel like, wow, it feels like it's at equilibrium, it's holding steady now instead of increasing, then you're good. And then you can open your eyes and go about your business. And in fact, it might be fun right now to open your eyes right now as part of the exercise and to look around the space you're in just briefly. Look around a little bit and notice if whatever state you were in is still there. And I should probably mention, how would you know if you hit embodied awakening? Basically, if you can check all 4 boxes on this checklist, you're good. So if all the following is true, no mental chatter, no challenging emotion, peaceful and effortless, then you're there. And again, even if it's just what I would call a starter awakening, if those criteria are there, then I call that embodied awakening. It can always get better, but if those things are happening, then you know you're solidly in there. And by the way, awakening is not an on-off switch. It's a dimmer control. Even if you did this and you just got a little bit more peaceful, a little less mental chatter, that's still good. That's still to be celebrated. Any movement in that direction is awesome. You will find that if you don't get it right away, if you just learn how to relax ever more deeply and allow the higher self to come in more fully, that you may pretty quickly get to the full criteria. And then things there's no limit to how more deeply awakened you can get using this technology. So that's the experience. What was your experience like, Sandra?
Wow. I loved going to that 0 point. It felt almost as though for a second there, I had a mind chatter second where it went, will you still be breathing? And then it was just like it was gone, and then I just kind of relaxed into it, and I felt very. It was very nice. Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. We can find more. Explain this link to us if you don't mind, please. The AstroShaman.com invocations.
Yeah.
/invocations.
Yeah. So that is where people can get a video. And on that video, as we record this, the video teaches all 4 versions of the invocation. I may pare that back to just 1 or 2 of them. I'm kind of playing with what I do on that thing. But in any event, however much the video offers, if that works for you and you're having a good experience, then I strongly recommend just get the book. I mean, the book covers encyclopedically all 4 of the invocations and gives far more detail and little subtle helpful hints than the video can. And if you haven't got a lot of cash, hey, you can get the ebook for $3.99. It's not very expensive. You can also get it as an audiobook that I narrate. There's a paperback, there's a hardcover, whatever format you want, it's out there. And so if these work for you, then the book is like the ultimate resource. If people join my Awakening Plus membership, though, the book is included because one of the courses actually is pretty much the entire book in both written and audio form. So I guess that's another way to get to it, is to join the Awakening Plus membership at awakeningplus.com. Again, that's awakeningplus.com. And there's tons more in the membership beyond that, of course.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. In a world that is being affected by so many different things right now, both with humanity and the astrological and galactic energies, to be able to do something like this embodied awakening invocation is just magical, because it just brings you into this sense of being beautifully. Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel very much in this state of bliss right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So I know, just kind of going back onto the other one that we had done, someone mentioned that letting go is the key, but it's difficult to do. So do you have any words of wisdom with regards to how do we let go of something? Like you asked us to let go of even like the mind chatter or something like that. How do we let go of that?
Letting go is, in my opinion, more difficult than just refocusing. I mean, if you think, if I'm holding something, if I just open my hand, it drops, and let it go. I mean, you could make that analogy, but what I find is actually most helpful in the real world is to say, okay, just put your attention back on feeling the energy if you can, or if not, just feeling the breath. It's just a refocusing of energy where you're choosing it to be. Because if you're fighting against something, you're adding energy to it. So trying not to do anything, it's like the classic thing, don't think of a pink elephant. Of course you're going to think of a pink elephant, right? So you just put your focus where you want it, and just.
Can I speak for just a second? I've been smelling something, and I forgot that I put vegetables on to boil, and my fire alarm just went off. Oh, so I'm going to remove myself and give you the floor for a minute.
Okay. All right, I get to improvise. So I'll mention, while I'm here, the other primary invocation in my system is the healing invocation, which works in a similar way. In fact, let me just mention, all the invocations are a very simple template. The template is maximum, fill in the blank, that serves highest good please. So in this case, we've filled in the blank with embodied awakening. So it becomes, maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good please. Its partner invocation would be maximum healing that serves highest good please. And you would use this one if the circumstance was you had something going on physically, emotionally, whatever, that didn't feel good. All you have to know to use the healing invocation is it doesn't feel good. You don't have to know anything more about it. So in this case, let's say you had a very common black feel challenging emotions in the center of the chest where the heart chakra is. You could say, okay, you talk to your higher self, you say maximum healing that serves highest good please. You hold attention where the discomfort is. And the follow-up at your human level is just to feel the discomfort, 100% no filter. The nature of these invocations is they cannot overwhelm you. So with this technology, it's safe to completely feel any challenge that's arising. Your higher self will only bring up as much as you can deal with. And then as you hold attention where the discomfort is, you're like shining a spotlight there, so to speak, and the higher self goes there, and the higher self gets in there, stirs up whatever needs loosening, flushes away the energy that doesn't serve you. Normally it flushes out the hands or the feet. And it can leave other ways too. You just let it go however it wants to, or transmute if it wants to. And you just keep holding attention in the discomfort until, usually until it's gone. And I've seen people use this for physical challenges, for emotional challenges, whatever kind of discomfort they're having, just saying maximum healing that serves highest good please and holding attention wherever the discomfort is. It usually works a great deal. If the higher self can, it'll clear it all in one round. But let's say you did that and some cleared, but the process kind of ran its course and there was still a little bit left. That means your higher self says, you know what? I couldn't get all of it on one round. That would have overwhelmed you. I'm not allowed to overwhelm, but you can do it again. And if you do additional rounds of maximum healing that serves highest good, please, the additional rounds usually go way faster. Let's say the first round took like 7 or 8 minutes. Usually the second round might take a minute, maybe 90 seconds. If you do a third round, it might run 15, 20 seconds. So each additional round goes way faster and clears whatever's left over, so to speak. So I can never guarantee a particular outcome. I will say in the majority of cases where people have used healing invocation under my supervision, either the thing gets completely healed or the majority of it gets cleared. So it's always worth a shot.
Beautiful. Thank you for going further with that. And yeah, thank you for holding space for me while I ran to do other things. And I could just feel the being able to slide back into here and connect in with great ease to that same feeling. So thank you for that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Beautiful. So how do people find you and your book?
Oh, well, the one site to remember above all is AstroShaman.com. That's AstroShaman.com. That's my main site. And they get to everything from there. If they're interested, could I speak for, and again, the freebie again of the video that teaches one or more of the invocations is at astroshaman.com/invocations. You got it on the screen there. And one other site that might be worth checking out is awakeningplus.com. That's awakeningplus.com. Let me just briefly describe my membership, if that's okay. This is an online membership to support your awakening, your healing, and your service capacity to help other folks. There's hundreds of members in Awakening Plus. We do roughly 15 Zoom calls per month, 2 to 4 a week. And many members attend lots, but actually, believe it or not, most members never do any of the live calls because most of the events are archived. And I get very consistent feedback that people who only work with the archived events, their experiences are just as powerful as going on the live Zoom calls. Because the divine allies we invoke are present with you in real time, even if you're working with a recording. And we do a wide variety of events, and we're coming up with more all the time. Some of them are very gentle and kind of like bubble bath, just soaking in the bliss. Others are more intense and hardcore shamanic, and we're really stirring up the heavy stuff and flushing it away more aggressively. And there's all kinds of shades of in between. Mostly it's energetic experiential events, but we have several per month where we come together. We do an Ask Us Anything community support event. There's plenty of chance to interact with other members too. And after every event, we always open it up to Q&A at the end. So there's lots of, in our membership, the members really support each other mainly by being in process together, blending at the soul level. And that's what most of them really seem to enjoy in terms of the community support part of it. There's also 3 major courses in there. There's one that teaches all about the invocations, like we've been talking about. There's another where I teach you how to do your own internal family systems therapy process, where you get in there, heal your wounded parts, and reintegrate them. It's kind of like a form of a shamanic soul retrieval, dressed up as psychology. And then there's one on how to work with divine allies, and there's more courses coming later. And all this, people could try it literally for $1 for a month. And get full-on membership, and after that it defaults to like $29 a month, or if that's more than they can afford, they can do it for $19 a month. Scholarship rate, get exactly the same support, so it's very affordable. And I've had many members who've stayed for years because I'm big on teaching you to do things for yourself. I want you to be able to independently invoke and do the things that we teach in the membership, but the Sangha is a powerful thing, and to be on a call with perhaps several dozen people on the live Zoom call, and even more supporting it after the fact energetically, because this energy is all held in the Akashic records, and everyone who does it live or ever does it after his recording is all fueling the potency you feel no matter when you do it. To have that level of group support, doing these powerful energetic processes, most people say, wow, the experience I have doing one of the Awakening Plus events is much more powerful than typical experience I can have doing any kind of process on my own. So having group support is very important for everyone, I think. And Awakening Plus is one way you can get that without ever having to leave home. So again, it's awakeningplus.com if anyone has an interest in checking that out.
There you go. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for coming on today. I know I just reached out to you the other day, and I always enjoy our time together. So thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
I'm honored. Thanks so much for having me back, Sandra.
Thank you. And you all know how to find him. Look him up on astroshaman.com. Check out all the things that he has to offer, and his book, Instant Divine Assistance, is a game changer. Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you.